Welcome back to another segment of Buckingham Business Review. I'm your host, Bernie Wolford, founder and president of Buckingham Associates. Our video magazine is about the intersection of strategy, tactics, and people. And we're back for another segment with Jim Caruso of MediaFirst, and the subject is blogging. And in our first segment, we talked about the general use of blogging. Now we're going to ask Jim to help us drill down and define what makes a successful blog, and maybe some key success factors, and maybe some mistakes to avoid. Jim, welcome back to Buckingham Business Review. In this whole subject of blogging, do you see some common mistakes being made over and over again that are just somewhat predictable for someone who's just started it without any help, without any coaching?
Well, there are some fairly predictable things. The title of your blog post is very important. And there's lots of guides and tips and tricks out there on the internet about what titles work for blog posts. I happened to meet a guy who's one of the professional bloggers on the blog circuit. He goes by Pro Blogger, Darren Rouse. And he's a great person to, like, if you're thinking about getting started with blogging, he's a great person who can kind of lay the groundwork for you.
So it's what I'm hearing is that sometimes it's a matter of going out and searching and finding others and what seems to appeal to you and maybe emulating some of that style.
And then there's some other things. Find a niche. Find something that you're expert at, that you love to do, that preferably that fewer people do. So find a niche and focus on that niche. Don't go try to be everything to everybody.
Okay.
But then also the content that you have, it has to be long enough to be interesting, so more than 300 words, but you don't want to make, you don't want to make it huge. You can have long blog posts, but maybe 1,500 words is the max. And then the way you lay it out is very important. The layout, physically, when you look at a blog post, you get turned off if it's a big block of text.
Sure.
You get turned off if there's no image that kind of relates to the title and what you think the subject of the blog post is. So title, just the layout of it and images can be critical to the success of your blog.
So there are some style issues in addition to substance. It's like the Ruth's Chris steak. It's going to be a good steak, but when it comes out and you can hear it, there's
That's a good example.
Literally some sizzle to it. Yeah. Well, how do I lay in between the lines the fact that I eventually would like to sell you something or have you contact me, but I know it's a sin to put selling actually into the blog, but how do I sort of navigate that gray area of not overtly selling, yet establishing myself perhaps as a qualified expert in a subject matter, leading to some business later on?
That's interesting, because I would disagree with you about whether you can overtly sell.
Really?
The question is whether you're going to be, you don't want to pressure sell,
right.
But if you have something to offer, in our other segment I was talking about offering a tip sheet or offering a quote, to do business with you. Those are things that at the right point in a blog post can be appropriate, and they can actually be a call to action in text. You can also have a call to action behind an image that could be embedded in the blog post or in the column of the blog, of your web page.
Okay.
And it could be a button. It could be a button on the side. It could be a button at the bottom of the blog post. But I don't think it's shameful to have content that's useful to your audience, and then ask them if they're interested in doing business with you.
Okay. So maybe I'll use the word, maybe I'm mentally sort of oversensitive to putting some of my experience and skill set and services in, but there's obviously a proper way to lay them in so that I'm not just hitting you with an advertisement. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right, and I mean it depends on what your blog is about and who your audience is and what you're selling. But to lay out your favorite thing to sell, right? Yes. Your favorite service offering, and then just ask people to buy it. Well, that wouldn't be good. But kind of exchanging, having a reader is kind of it's an exchange. They have to be interested in what you're offering, and you're also interested in both helping them but establish a relationship with them, engaging with them, or in the ideal the new Guy Kawasaki book,
Yes.
Enchantment.
Yes.
Right, to really enchant them with the kind of information that you're offering to them. And part of it is free because it's out there on the web. And then there are kind of gates that you can put in, whether it's, give me your contact information and I'll give you the tip sheet, or subscribe as a regular visitor or subscriber and I'll send you information, and maybe it's free and maybe it's not.
Sure. Well, very good. We've been visiting with Jim Caruso of MediaFirst, and of course the subject has been blogging. Jim, before we sign off, what is the best way for our listeners or viewers to contact you?
Well, Bernie, the best way is at MediaFirst.net, which is our website. You can find us on Twitter at MediaFirst. You can find me at Jim Caruso. Our phone number is 770-642-2080, and those are all excellent ways. And I'm Jim at MediaFirst.net. So
very good.
Please connect.
Well, thanks again for joining us on Buckingham Business Review, and we hope you will return for more segments, continuing our theme of blogging. So until we're together again, this is Bernie Wolford, your host. Have a great day.